Hello book nerds, welcome to Bookshelf Bunny. I'm Kim and this is a Paris trip book haul. Hey guys, so as some of you might know, I was away on a 10-day journey through London and Paris. I also had a little pit stop in Iceland, which was very cool. We went to the Olympics. So that was amazing. We landed in London, spent a couple of days exploring there, which is fantastic because that's my ancestry. And it was a neat experience. And then we went to London where we spent some time in Disneyland, hence the ears with the Eiffel Tower. And we visited the Eiffel Tower, saw some sights, saw Versailles, saw Mont Saint-Michel, all sorts of things. And then of course we ended with the Olympics. We saw a couple of sporting events and then we also saw the closing ceremonies. On our way back we stopped, we had an 8-hour layover in Iceland where we spent some time at the Blue Lagoon spa where there's some natural hot springs right near a volcano, which is slightly terrifying, but I mean we didn't die, so yay. And while on the adventures of this trip, I was able to pick up some books and I wanted to share that with you. First of all, here are some of the goodies, not all of the goodies, but some of the goodies that I picked up on our trip. I got this adorable little teddy from the Sherlock Holmes Museum in London. It's literally on 221B Baker Street and he's got it on his little foot there. I love a little magnifying glass. He's got his pipe. He's got a little hat. That was amazing. I love the Sherlock Holmes books. So this was a really fun little stop that we made while we were in London. We also went to the Olympics, so naturally I had to pick up the mascot. This little guy, he's a hat. I don't know how to pronounce it because I am not French, but it's right there. That's a hat. It's a type of hat. I had to learn. All I know is he's adorable. And that's the little mascot for the Olympics. And then on our pit stop home at the Iceland spa, of course, we grabbed a little troll guy with the Iceland flag on his head as our "we were here" souvenir. He's really cute. I'm a huge fan of folk tales and fairy tales, and so I also picked up a book about that while I was there. Nyahaha. All right, so as for the book haul, I am going to jump right in with what I picked up in England. We made a stop. One of our tours was of Stonehenge, Windsor Castle, and Bath. And if you're familiar, Bath is where Jane Austen actually lived for a little while. And while wandering around the quaint town of Bath and its giant abbey and its Roman baths, I found a bookstore, which I was left unattended by my husband to explore. And while in said bookstore, I came across a table that had blind date with a book. I've never done that before. I've always kind of looked at it and thought about it, but it's not exactly local. I'd have to like order from Etsy or something. And so when I saw this little table, I was like, oh, it's fate. I need to get some. So before I show you the books, I was impatient and I already opened my blind date with the books. I didn't film it. I was just too excited. As soon as I got home from my trip, I was like, I need to know what these are. But I did take pictures beforehand. These are the pictures I took while in Bath, and the descriptions of the books are here as well, so I'll give you just a second to read those. I believe it was the Green Ribbon one that was talked about. It's a movie. It ended up being, drumroll please, I am incredibly excited about this, Howl's Moving Castle. Howl's Moving Castle. This is my blind date with a book, and I'm so excited to read this, and I'm so thrilled that this was in my blind date with a book. The other one, the one that refers to a manga fantasy series, turned out being this beauty, which I have never heard of before. Apparently there are 13 issues already, so that's good. If I like it, I can pick up some more. I'm always down with a good manga, and a fantasy is always my jam. This was kind of referenced in that description on the book about something to do with fans of Dungeons and Dragons. Huge fan. We also picked up a lot of different guidebooks, which I'll just kind of show you in a quick, oh my god, it's heavy, from the various places that we visited with information and such. Mont Saint Michel, Tower of London, Windsor. This was actually really cute. I was so excited to see it. Stonehenge. Versailles. We went a lot of places. We did a quick smash and grab through the Louvre. We didn't stay long. We didn't have a lot of time, but we made sure to check out the Olympic display and, of course, Mona Lisa before we left. And, of course, our Olympics guidebook. So these are some of the, like, souvenir info books that I picked up. They're a little less exciting in terms of the book world, but I am excited about them. So that's just a quick show off. While we were in Paris, one of the places that we went was Parc Asterix. You might not be familiar. It's a French comic book strip that was made into a cartoon, and there's also a couple live action movies. It's really funny, lighthearted stories, and I just adore them. And so we had to stop by Parc Asterix while we were nearby, and naturally I had to grab some of the comics. English translation, of course. Most of it's in French because it is a French cartoon, but I found some English ones. Asterix in Britain. Asterix and the White Iris. Asterix and the Griffin. So if you're from Canada, I have learned that this comic book and cartoon is very, very popular in our French-speaking areas, so like Quebec, because of the language. While we were at Parc Asterix, we got to do this really cute banquet where the characters are around and they're interacting with you and they're acting out silly little bits. And while we were there, I came across a fellow Canadian from Montreal, and he was shocked that a couple of Saskatchewan Canadians knew who Asterix and Obelix were. He said that it's a very, very popular cartoon. He grew up with it. It's like his Disney, his Mickey Mouse. And I was really excited to learn that it was so popular in Canada. I didn't know that. I'm familiar with it because my husband and I watch all kinds of things, and we've seen live action movies for this, and that's how we knew about it. I also have one of the comic compilations on my e-reader. So that was exciting. We had to stop there and check those out. And lastly, while in Iceland, looking at the gift shops and such, we came across Trolls in the Knolls. So a fairy tale and folktale compilation for Iceland. And I'm a huge fan of Iceland. It's beautiful. My very brief stay there, that place is magic. It's gorgeous. And I'm very excited to read some of the Iceland-specific folktales. So excited. So that's my real quick book haul for my trip. I will share some of my favorite photos for you here in a moment. But overall, it was an amazing experience. Amazing. I loved everything about it. And I'm so excited that I got to explore my bookish love while I was out there. Okay, book nerds, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Is anyone out there familiar with the Asterix comic series? Have you watched the Asterix and Obelix live action shows? Let me know. Did anyone else get to go to the Olympics? If so, what countries did you rep? I'd love to hear from you. All right, book nerds, that's all I got. As always, happy reading.